Morning, folks. We're going to give everyone just a couple minutes to get settled in. Okay, we got one more joining here, and we'll get started here in about 1 minute. Thank you guys for your patience. All right, well, good morning, everybody, people in person and anybody who's joining online. It's great to see you guys. This is the first time we've done in person in a while, so it's kind of nice. Feels like it's been a long time. And welcome to everybody who's joining online. Just to introduce myself quickly for you who I've not met. I'm Todd Underwood. I'm the Strategic Marketing Manager for SIFT. I do a little bit of everything from the website to your emails you get from us, any kind of outreach. So we're really happy to see you and glad to have you here for to show you some of the new things we're doing here at NOCK. Just want to say a few things about SIFT for people who might be joining online who don't know much about us or what we do. But the Ohio MEP is part of a nationwide public-private partnership with centers in all 50 states and Puerto Rico that are all dedicated to serving our small and medium-sized manufacturers. SIFT is one of 6 centers in the state of Ohio. Our underlying vision is to be a partner in solutions for innovation in food, manufacturing, and agribusiness. We work to achieve this goal through a unique blend of direct services with people like Matt, who you'll be talking today, a membership consortium made up of leading companies in the food space, and a vast network of resources and other partnerships. So our goal is to increase competitiveness and growth in Northwest Ohio and throughout the state in manufacturing and food. This Agribusiness Forum is kind of part of that mission where we hope to highlight trends, new innovation, and more once a month when we meet. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to a teammate of mine, somebody I work with a lot, Matt Manager, graduate of Ohio State, the Ohio State University. I get in trouble around here. Go Bearcats, sorry. Matt is a manager of SIFT's Advanced Food Technology Program. He delivers solutions in food to manufacturers in the area of process engineering, robotics, automation, and artificial intelligence. All right, with that, I'll turn it over to Matt. Thank you. Let me get Matt. You just gotta, you can go ahead and perfect.
That looks right. Good morning, folks. Like Todd said, my name is Matt, and I and the manager of our advanced food technology program here at SIFT. What that means is I normally spend most of my time working with our larger food manufacturing clients, but because of an opportunity provided to us by the USDA, we had the opportunity here at SIFT to invest in this facility, and which means I get to work with the folks who work here, like Paula and Kareem, and it has been an absolute pleasure. This facility offers very unique services to a very unique class of business today, and we're really excited about what sort of services we're going to be offering down the road to other types of businesses. Also, quick sec, can the people on Zoom hear me okay? I'm going to try to just yell, and hopefully the mic on the computer picks me up. So if you can't, say something. So before we begin, believe it or not, this is actually my first ag breakfast. I have never been to one of these before. Now, I know they happen here, mostly. I know COVID put a stop to that for a little bit, but they generally happen here. However, I don't know how much you folks know about the mission of this facility and this processing space. So I wanted to take a quick moment and talk about what we do here at the Northwest Ohio Cooperative Kitchen. Right now, we do these two things, right? We, first and foremost, offer small food businesses here in Northwest Ohio and throughout the state, I suppose, a facility that is ODA inspected to manufacture their products if they require ODA inspection in order to be produced or require a certain scale in order to be produced. What that means is that if there's products you see at like a farmer's market, there's a very popular one in Perrysburg where I live down the road. If people bake like a cherry pie and sell that, they can do that in their own home through what's called the cottage food law. If they make a barbecue sauce or a guacamole or a salsa product or something else that isn't inherently safe, then they need to be producing in an inspected facility regardless of their size. And so this facility exists to offer those startup food companies that opportunity to produce. Additionally, we have been excited in the last couple of years with the addition of my good friend Kareem back there to offer additional business acceleration resources to these food startups. We have a goal at this facility to create successful companies. We always like to point to our like #1 success story, which is Willie's Salsa. They've got some of our containers over there in the corner. I don't know if you folks are familiar with Willie's Salsa. Phenomenal products, Toledo local company. Their facility's out on Airport Highway. It's like in the airport, believe it or not. And they started here, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe, Paula, and 12 years ago, and have grown into a Forbes top 40 fastest growing business in the country. We want to turn all of our tenants into Willie's. They obviously aren't all going to, but that's the goal of what we do right now at NOCK, is to provide those resources and to create those types of businesses. However, like I said, we were recently given the opportunity through USDA resources to make some investments in this facility. And we have some new goals, both in terms of this initiative, what we want to accomplish here, and what we want to begin offering through this facility. So the goals of this automation initiative that came about through the USDA, first and foremost, is we do want to make the lives of our tenants here easier, right? We want to increase their overall production capacity. We want to make this a safer production process for their employees. We want to maybe reduce the amount of employees they need to operate, so people who are smaller and can't get as much help have the opportunity to produce at large scales. We want to make their lives easier first and foremost. Additionally, this is kind of the new part of our mission we want to add to this facility, is we would like to create a test bed for our larger food manufacturing clients. Those are the SIFT innovation members, the people we work with as an organization every day. We want to create a test bed for them to demonstrate advanced technologies. I don't know how many of you know this, but for a lot of reasons, food and beverage manufacturing is generally the last manufacturing sector to do anything cool. There's a lot of reasons for that. We won't go into them today. But what that means is that people having the opportunity to put their hands on some of this stuff will make them much more likely to be willing to make an investment, make changes to their food safety policies, make changes to their production process in order to adopt some of these technologies that may or may not be really prevalent in other subsectors in order to help their businesses. So that's kind of part of SIFT's overall mission, like Todd said, is we exist to push advanced technology adoption in food and beverage manufacturing. And we're excited that this facility is now going to be more of a part of that goal. And then lastly, we're really excited to provide educational platforms for students to learn about food manufacturing. Now, that's something that happens here already. We host some events with teachers in the area at this facility where they can learn about food manufacturing in order to inform their students about the career opportunities that exist in this field, in this area. But through having more advanced technology pieces of equipment, we're hoping to continue to broaden that goal as we move forward. That's a picture of, like, obviously our coolest new piece of tech. We do have a robot back there we're going to see. We'll talk a little bit more about how that works in a little bit, but this is kind of the goal of what we wanted to accomplish with this initiative, which I can go ahead and break in right now, isn't entirely complete. We're about halfway through what I would say is the project of integrating these solutions. We've got everything picked out. We've got everything on the way. We're still waiting on some things to be delivered and installed and integrated and things like that. So we'll talk about what this facility will look like in a couple of months, and then you'll see how far we are right now, maybe 50%, 3/4 of the way. So let's talk about some of the investments we made in order to reach those goals like we said before. So I'm going to split these two. This isn't even all the things we've invested in. This is just some of the cool ones. Split these two into categories, whether they are assisting our production process for our tenants or whether they are demonstration pieces for advanced tech. Starting up there on the top left, that transfer pump, we're really excited about this. This is something where how our tenants were moving products throughout our facility was both super inefficient, super slow, and not very safe at all. And so we are excited to have this system in place to allow them to move liquid products throughout the facility much easier. As you guys will see, we have a video we'll play, and then of course we'll go back there and see the room. This specific facility is definitely catered towards any sort of liquid food product that's hot filled. So you guys all saw that when you came in, our display of people who produce here. That's what you can anticipate. Sauces, jams, jellies, dressings, things like that are generally filled at high temperatures and are liquid foods you can move around with a pump. So we have a transfer system in place here to move hot products from our kettles to our filler, which used to be done by hand. And like I said, was slow, inefficient, and really dangerous. So we're really happy to have that in place and be helping our tenants out immediately. Down in the middle on the bottom, we were able to purchase a inline coater, inkjet coater, which is really cool because we have some tenants who are of the size that they need to start meeting either FDA or retailer requirements for batch numbers, lot numbers, and Best By dates. Doing that by hand takes forever. So having an inline solution for that is able to take one person off a production line and like I said, can help people who can't quite get as much help be here and be able to produce significantly quicker. And then over here nearest to me, we're really excited about this. Like I said, we hot fill all our products here, and I won't bore you with the food processing details. But basically, you obviously cook up your product to some temperature that sterilizes it. You fill a container, move the product around that container to sterilize a container, and then cool it down quickly. Right now, our cooling it down quickly step is pretty slow. So we are really excited to put this in place, not only to provide additional production cooling so people can move through batches quicker instead of only running 1 or 2 batches a day because they need to cool overnight. Now they can cool in 20 to 25 minutes. But this will also serve as cold storage for some of our tenants who produce products that need refrigerated storage, and hopefully can serve as a storage space for people who may not even produce here, but are small businesses that have refrigerated products they may be interested in storing. Cold storage is a very hot commodity today, and we're excited to possibly offer that to small businesses who produce here or may not produce here. So those are 3 of the bigger pieces that we have made investments on for the sake of our tenants. Oh, and up here, we have our automatic labeler. Right now, all of our tenants hand label, which is as excruciating as it sounds. This isn't anything fancy. I know we have some people here who know a lot about labeling. This isn't anything fancy, but we obviously were restricted to a budget and wanted to offer some option to our tenants. We are hopefully going to do something really interesting regarding automating this with our robot, but that remains to be seen if it's actually feasible. But we have some big plans for trying to do that. So that is the investments we've made in our production process. We've also made a couple of investments in advanced technology that we would like to demo. In the top middle there, labeled as our cold filler, because we do use it for some tenants who don't hot fill products, is a Unifiller Universal 1000, which is a really cool high performance, high viscosity piston filler. It can move products, almost anything that you can imagine that you wouldn't normally consider to be pumped can be moved through that machine, which is really beneficial for some of our tenants. There's going to be a video of one of our tenants filling guacamole with it. It's also, we have some of our larger food manufacturing clients who do different meat products, shredded meat broth, soups, high particulate stuff that would be typically tough to move around with the pump that you can fill with a unifiller. It's also really modular. So we have a hand filler attachment, but you can put these in line and run them as part of an automated setup. They're really, really cool pieces of equipment that would help a lot of food manufacturers that we're excited to let people try out at our facility. That's been the one that's gotten the most attention so far. We have had we are having a couple of food manufacturers come in to demo that piece in the next couple of months. So we're excited about the buzz that's generating as a demonstration piece. And then down in the bottom left is our robot. That's not actually a picture of our robot. That's a picture of a cool little model I got from the manufacturer that's on my desk. I thought that would be funny. But obviously, we're really excited about that's our main demonstration piece right now for our large companies, because for a lot of reasons, like I said, robotics are not something that are utilized in food facilities often. Generally, larger food manufacturers will have them downstream after a product's completely been packaged. So they'll be doing things like case packing or palletizing, because once a food is in its package, it's no different than any other widget. It could be a bolt that goes to a transmission. It's the same thing, really, in terms of robotics applications. But one thing we are trying to show companies as possible is robotics in food contact applications. You'll see a video of this thing operating today in one of those applications. Because the ability to remove manual interaction from food production processes is beneficial, not just in the fact that it reduces variability and improves product quality, but a lot of times there are safety concerns with really manual food production process. I like to point to like raw meat processing. We all remember when JBS Foods had like 1,000 COVID cases because people are standing shoulder to shoulder with really sharp knives, deboning cow carcasses. That is incredibly inefficient and incredibly dangerous. And robotics in that application provide a lot of potential upsides. However, a lot of meat processors are nervous about what it looks like to clean these things fully. Does it affect their ability to perform? If you mess up on cleaning, that puts people in danger. There's a lot of things to be worried about, but we've solved a lot of those problems here at SIFT, and we're excited to show our food manufacturing clients how these types of robots can be integrated. We also, not only is it just robotics in food contact applications that's so unique about this, the specific robot we have uses what's called a collaborative platform, which means to say it doesn't need to be put in a cage, kept far away from people, because it'll just run over somebody if someone gets in its way. This is designed to work in and around human operators, which means it has force transducers that will monitor when somebody is nearby or if it comes in contact with a human and stop immediately. So it's safe to move around. It's very easy to program. It runs on 110 volt power, which means it can be in almost any facility, whether it's typical industrial or not. And like I said, the programming is so simple that it allows people who may not be like super well versed in robotics or automation to utilize it. So we're excited about this specific platform of robotics because of its flexibility and its ability to be utilized in small manufacturing applications, which is a lot of the clients that we're serving. So we're very, very excited about that piece. Here's just a flow diagram of the process as it exists. This will make a lot more sense when you guys see it. You can see where some of our additions are. Up in the top left, you can see our transfer pump that moves product out of our kettles into our filler hopper. You'll see that we have two accumulators. This filling line right here, this has been in our facility forever. I don't know, Paul will tell you exactly how long, but this is already here. This is kind of our main piece of equipment. So we built all of our operations around it. Right now, you can see that we have the robot here in its product agitation application. However, we would like to do other things with it. That's, like I said, one of the benefits of collaborative platforms is it can have multiple tasks with a single robot. We also plan on having a depalletized empty containers, and then hopefully operating our automatic labeler, presenting and removing containers from that automatic labeler, which is a really cool example of utilizing robotics to be similar to other more expensive pieces of automated equipment. An inline labeler is $30,000, $40,000, which wasn't really feasible for our budget and maybe isn't feasible for some smaller manufacturers. But one investment into a collaborative robot can allow you to not only automatically agitate your products, automatically depalletize or some other pick and place typical robot use case, but maybe even not have to invest in an automatic labeler. We'll see if this is possible by automating out of tasks that would traditionally be done by one piece of equipment. So we're excited about that opportunity. As products come off the filler, this accumulator, like I said, has been in our facility for a long time. It'll be loaded on the cooling racks. Part of hot fill processes mean that you need to have a certain amount of time with your product in the container inverted in order to make sure that product's touching all sides of the container to make sure it's sterilized. And then those cooling racks will be wheeled into our production cooler, which is just a walk-in, but it's an overpowered walk-in to make sure that it can handle, 400 pounds of 200 degree product at any given time. And after that, we'll do our labeling and any sort of secondary packaging that comes after that. One quick note about automation in general and some of the limitations with automating this facility. One of the benefits of NOCK is that we run a bunch of different containers. You guys will see that in the display. There's a bunch of things there that are different sizes, different shapes. Obviously, each tenant's going to bring their own container. That flexibility significantly limits the amount of speed that we can have. So we don't have inline cooling or inline inversion like a lot of traditional sauce manufacturing facilities would have, because we have to account for huge variations in container size, which makes that pretty tough to do. So that's kind of a general rule of thumb when it comes to food manufacturing, or really manufacturing processes in general, is that they exist on a spectrum between, on one side is ultimate flexibility, where you can, minimum runs are super low, product category capacity is super wide. On the other hand is speed, where you're doing, 300, 400 containers an hour of one specific product in one specific container. We are somewhere in between there. Obviously, we generally favor flexibility, which is why this automated process is a little bit limited. But that is, after all, the purpose of this facility. And the last thing here is some other opportunities that we want to invest in, especially on the demonstration side, so that some of our larger food manufacturing clients have the opportunity to see some of these technologies. The one that's closest is augmented and virtual reality. We're working with our general manufacturing team on developing some training modules using virtual reality, which is the one where your vision is completely obstructed by something, right? That one has a little bit less of a use case in terms of day-to-day operation, since you can't see anything, but they're really cool training tool, especially as people, obviously staff turnover is going to continue to be a problem. It gives manufacturers the opportunity to train people without investing a lot of somebody else's time into that process. And then augmented reality is something that will have, I think, more of an impact on food manufacturing than other types, because food manufacturing will, for much longer than any other sector, have manual interaction in it. And that's just because of the natural variability of food products. And augmented reality gives deskless workers, right, think people who work on a food line, the opportunity to have more information, make better decisions, and provide a lot of the benefits of the computers we all know and love to people who don't sit at their desk. So we're really excited to get some of that technology in. Like I said, that's the closest one we actually have some VR systems already here, but we're working on getting them set up to be utilized in this application. We're also really excited about food safety document digitalization. I don't know how much you guys know about food safety policies. They're not fun. We have people here at SIFT who would say they're fun, but I certainly don't think they are. They're a lot of work. It's generally tough for some of our tenants. It's tough for some of our larger food manufacturers who deal with third-party certifications, SQF, GFSI, things like that. There are some really interesting tools that we've come across that allow you to digitalize that process and integrate that into ERP or ERP similar systems. That presents a huge cost savings and labor savings opportunity for food manufacturers. So we're really excited to bring that into our facility and show people what the benefits are. And then something else we're excited about is beginning to integrate AI into this facility. Like Todd said, that's something that I do every day with food manufacturers right now. We are integrating predictive data analysis algorithms, advanced sensor systems right now in order to benefit product quality and food manufacturing. And it would be cool to use this system as a pilot for that tech with the subcontractors we use and with some of the products we've used, get in some white papers of the manufacturers that we supported this technology with, and allow people to see what's possible when you collect enough information and begin to automate out your decision-making process. So those are some of the things that we're excited about in the future. And I think that's the end of my slides. That is, before you ask me any questions, I'm going to play this video only because it gives, let me see if I can do that. There we go. Yeah, only because it gives some background onto what we're going to see, and this will help the virtual people get an idea of what we're doing here. Thanks to Kareem for making this video. Really great. with that, like I said, we'll go see it and it'll make a lot more sense than we do. So with that, before we go out and see the facility, does anybody here or virtual have any questions for me? No. Good. Glad to see I'm thorough.
Matt, I don't know if you covered any, did you cover it all the timeline for this?
Oh, yes. So the specific USDA resources we're using for this need to be utilized by the end of October. So that's our timeline. We expect everything to be in place and up and running by the end of August. So we should be well out of that. Cool. Excellent.
All right. All right, for our online folks, thank you for attending today, the virtual segment. We're gonna end now and let the in-person people take a tour, but just want to thank you again for joining us online. We will be back next month. There will be information coming out today about our next month's Ag Business Forum. I'm used to calling it Breakfast Forum, but it's the Ag Business Forum now. So thank you all for coming, and we look forward to, oh, hold on, wait a second. We have a chat. Oh, thank you. All right. Well, thank you all. Have a great day and look forward to seeing you all next month. Bye.